so high I'm hypnotized. What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through. Times don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the world but keep the sky on your mind. what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through. Times don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the world, but keep the sky on your mind.
Hello, good evening and welcome to Andy's Shed Live. Hello everyone and welcome to the show. This is Andy's Shed Live, Series 14, Episode number 2 for Sunday the 12th of November 2023. Hello there and welcome to the show. Yes, it's me again here for another Sunday evening. It's the 12th of November, it's cold and it's dark outside. Yes, it's turning into winter rapidly out there at the moment. But don't let that deter you. Just sort of shut the door, put the old draft excluder around the bottom of it and sit down for the next hour or so and watch us on here. It is Sunday the 12th of November today and various people are with us in the chat. Once again, let's see who we've got. GDR King Class, that's Dominic, he's here. Wesley's here. Christopher's here. Miguel is here. I think that's about all I can say. Oh, Keith is here as well. And that's about all I can say. Oh, and Gambo's here. That's about all I can actually see at the moment. Because until you actually say something in the chat, I don't know if you're here or not. Yeah, hope you're all finding us okay here on Odyssey. It's a little bit different this because the chat kind of continues from one week to the next. So if you actually log in to the chat page in the middle of the week, you can still leave a message on the chat. The chat stays live all week. It's a bit odd. It's a bit unusual. It's different to how we were doing things before over on YouTube. Of course, you may still be watching on YouTube. It's not beyond the realms of possibility. We are streaming live to YouTube as well as to Odyssey. But if you're watching on YouTube and wondering where the chat is over on Odyssey. The easy way to find it is go via our very own website. Go here, andyshed.coldpress.net. That is the website. If you add /live onto the end of that, then it will take you to a page with this live stream embedded in it, and there's also a link on how to get to the chat and how to get into the chat and all sorts of instructions on that and how to make it work if it's not working on that page. That's andyshed.coldpress.net and then /live to have a look at the live chat thingy and see what that is doing. Talking of the chat, what are people saying in there? Right, I've just got to get it into the right place. Everybody's saying good evening. Wesley says, struggling to get it on my telly, so watching YouTube stream and tapping away on my mobile. Yeah, I think one or two people are doing it like that, Wesley. That's totally fine. It will work that way. It's just that the chat has gone over onto Odyssey because basically we couldn't combine the chat. I thought we were going to be able to combine it so that people chatting Odyssey and people chatting on YouTube and people chatting on other platforms could all do it together. It turns out it doesn't combine well with Odyssey. YouTube and Facebook and that don't work so well with Odyssey. But in general, last week I think people were saying that the Odyssey stream is much better. It's much smoother and clearer, people were saying last week. Which surprised me. I thought it would be about the same, but people were saying it was better. Wesley says, I can see Christopher's message on my telly, but not above. What am I doing wrong? I think. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know. That's an interesting question, that. I don't know. It may be that Christopher logged in on YouTube, but I didn't think the chat was working on YouTube. I thought I disabled the YouTube chat. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going on there. What does it say? Now I can see Christopher's message above after refreshing my screen. And Christopher himself says, Andy, did you get the photos of my new Diacon Yellow Ericsson M1900 and the ivory one from Telephone Rentals? No, I haven't, Christopher. At least, let me put it this way, I've not noticed that I've got it. I have actually got to get back in touch with you about something else as well. So there'll be an email on its way to you from me fairly soon, Christopher, probably after the show tonight or tomorrow. But no, I've not seen this about the yellow one. I'll check my emails in a minute and have a look in just a minute. It says, I got my new yellow N1900 on CNET too. Excellent. Yeah, it says, good evening all. Some different tunes tonight. Yes, we've got some new music on the pre-show thing on the clock tonight. We've added a bit more music to it tonight. What it says, having to refresh his browser to make the chat update. It says, is it just me? I think it probably is just you, I'm afraid, Wesley. It's certainly working okay on Firefox, because that's what I'm using here. And Dominic says it's working okay for him. Dominic also says he went to Lincoln today and found a fantastic shop selling all sorts, including old plain instruments and valves. I bought a new old stock TDK cassette there. Spotted a Tribune in one corner. That sounds like an interesting shop. Where's that then, Dominic? You said there's something funny about that clock. Has anyone spotted it? Something funny about the clock? What, that clock? Is there? What's funny about it then? I can't spot it. I can't see anything with it. Gambo's here, says hi peeps, I've made it tonight. Dominic says, has anyone heard about Odyssey being put up for sale? No. I hadn't heard about that. But it says Google browser updates okay. Dominic says Google might be buying it. No. Google will try and buy it to shut it down, basically, because it competes with YouTube. I wouldn't have thought the Odyssey people would let Google buy it. I thought they'd got more sense than that. What they can't buy, though, is the library protocol, because it's a protocol. So you can watch these streams not through Odyssey. You can download a thing called the library client from lbry.com and download that library client and search for this stream on there, and you should be able to find it on there. Keith says, I heard Google were the most likely bidder, or Elon Musk. Pray to God it's Elon Musk, is all I'll say. Yeah. Word says, hope it all went well last week. Apologies I missed it. I was at the All Souls Day service. Gambo says, sent an email with pics earlier this weekend. I'm not sure if you've seen it, as it's very interesting. Oh, perhaps I haven't, Gambo. Maybe my email's been doing something strange, because Christopher sent some as well that I don't seem to have got, and I'm going to have a look in a minute. Gambo says, I need to change my name on here as it's not coming up as Gambo. No, there's quite a few that's different on here. Well, people's names are coming up different because you're like registered with different names and things. Christopher says, I sent an email for my new iPhone and I'm watching on Odyssey. Oh God. If you sent it from an iPhone, that's probably why I've not got it. iPhones are bad. We don't have anything Apple. We don't have anything Microsoft, and we don't have anything Apple. And I try now not to have anything Google as well. I've not quite eradicated Google yet, but I'm working on it. Christopher says, I got an old 1990s TV today and it's still working. That's good. Have you still got analog TV over there then, Christopher? And Miette says, clue is look at the hands of the clock. The hands of the clock. What's wrong with the hands of the clock? There's the clock. It's got two, well, it's got three hands actually. What's wrong with them? Come on, put us out of his misery. What's happening with the clock? Because I've got no idea. What's up with the clock then? It's working, isn't it? It's the same clock it's always been. The clock hasn't changed, actually. The clock is exactly the same as it's always been, because that comes out of OBS Studio that's running here, and so the clock is what it's always been. Can't somebody tell me what the thing is? Right, I'm just reading this thing about Karamak bars. I've never heard of a Karamak bar. It can't have been mega well known, that. I've never heard of a Karamak bar before. That's a new one on me, that here. Yeah. Maybe it's because I eat all Cadbury's chocolate, not necessarily Nestle. You used to have Milky Bars. Nestle milk or Nestles, Nestle, whatever you want to call it, but they make Milky Bars anyway. You used to have Milky Bars, you know, the white chocolate with Milky Bars, but I've never heard of a Karamak bar. Wesley says it's very bad news about the Karamak bar. I cleared the shelf at the garage. I've never seen one. I go into garages and buy chocolate out of garages and things like everybody else in the world, but I've never seen a caramel bar. Well, it says, where have you been for the last 64 years? Well, for the last 50 odd of them here, Wesley. But I've never seen a caramel bar. Christopher says, relating to his new TV, or his new old TV, he says, analog TV was shut down here in 2013, but he's watching VCR and DVD programs on the TV. So, can you get a little set-top box? When we went digital here, we used to be able to get little separate set-top boxes that you plugged your aerial into, and then they kind of had an analog input and then a digital output that you then plugged into the socket on the back of your old-fashioned TV. You could get one of those. You could go watch digital TV on your telly. I think everybody threw them out here when they got integrated TVs. But yeah, if you've got a Freeview box or something, that would be the way to do it. Whereas it says Karamak is not strictly a chocolate bar. What is it? Is it a caramel bar? Judging by the name. I don't know what it is. I've never seen one. Cadbury's went downhill when Kraft bought it, says Dominic. And they promised not to close the fries factory and then shut it the day they took over. Yes. Yeah. Yes. And Fry's Turkish Delight's not like it used to be either. That's changed. Miguel says the minute hand and hour hands are wrong way. The hour hand is always fitted to the face first, then the minute hand. Your picture shows them the other way around. Does it? I'm looking at it now. Hang on. Let me make it full screen at my end. Sort of. If you knew how this clock worked, you'd know why it does that. The clock is made up of 4 images. There's the face of the clock, the big hand, the little hand, and the second hand. And they're all 4 images, and they should be perfectly on top of one another. That central boss should all be perfectly on top of one another, but it's not, because whoever designed the clock didn't quite get it lined up right. So yes, it is actually a digital image. It's not actually a real clock. It's not like the BBC thing used to be, which was a real clock in a thing called a noddy, which was a strange device that incorporated various physical captions and things and a camera, and the camera went up and down between them all, hence the name noddy. And the BBC clock was a real clock, like the globe was a real globe, photographed in black and white, and then they did things electronically to colour it. That's why it looked electronic, but it actually wasn't. But this this clock is actually an electronic clock, but they've just not got the graphics quite right on it. But yeah, I see what you mean though, Wesley. It does look like that. Not Wesley Campbell. Well, it does look like that, doesn't it? Yeah, it does look like that. Yeah. Oh, so Miguel that was on about the clock. Yeah. Right. What it says, there used to be a round trace factory here, which closed in the early 80s. Right next to one of the few rail-connected dairies in the days of the Milk Marketing Board. Crikey. Those were the days. We're going back a bit, Milk Marketing Board and all that business. Blimey. Yeah, not half. Right. Well, what's been happening this week? I hear you ask. Oh, phone's going crazy now. It's been busy this week. What with one thing and another. It has actually been very busy. Oh, just had a thing that says I'm live on my channel. That's what that was pinging. Better late than never. That's YouTube for you. Oh, I have got the thing, Christopher, about the phones. I have got it. Right, I will try and get it up on the screen, shall I? Let's see what we can do. Right, let's have a little... Oh no, it's not that. I've pressed the wrong button there. I want to press that. That and that, and then we'll see if we can find Christopher, and I think it was Gembo sent an email as well, didn't they? Let's see if we can find them. They're downloading as I speak. Right, here we are. Christopher's new phone here. There's an Ivory Ericsson N1970B. Right, let's see if I can get this up. I can indeed, it seems like. Right, yeah, so this is oh, hang on. What has happened there? That has not done that right, has it? Right, I'm working on it. Hang on, I am working on it. Right. So here it is. It's Christopher's phone. It's an N1970B. This is an Ericsson phone. Looks in very good condition, but it's really oddball. Look how the cables come through the grommet, and they've still got the outer sheathing on them on the inside of the grommets. That's odd. That's really strange. Right, let's get the next one. And there you see a good example there of Ericsson putting N number on all the components, N103476 on the circuit board there. Yeah, these are really oddball Ericssons. These are properly out there, these. Totally different to what we get here. Totally different. Yeah, really not the same at all as what we get here. And there's another view of it. Yeah, properly out there with all the, basically all the gubbins of the telephone is kind of mounted under the dial rather than on the base plate, and the base plate is then different. You know, the bells are in a different place, and yeah, everything is different about it internally, isn't it? It's basically only the case that's the same. And there it is, all put together, and you wouldn't know there was anything weird going on, would you? The uninitiated would just think, oh, it's a 746, oh, 706 rather than that, but it's not. And actually, the thing with the little arrows on, the plate with the little arrows on looks different as well, because they look like silver 3D arrows on an ivory ground, and we don't have them like that here. If you've got silver 3D arrows here, they're on a silver ground, the same colour, so that looks different as well. And of course the base is completely different. So yeah, an interesting thing. That it's unusual. Is that it's something very different. That is right. And then he's got an N1900A66 as well. Let's have a look. See if I can show you that one. Yeah, this is A66, N1900A66 in topaz yellow, which is a rare colour to find one in. There you go, with the markings inside the case there. And that's a bit more sort of standard inside. I'm not sure what patents were applied for, but it's a bit more like a normal 706 inside, that one, isn't it? It's got that half-height rectifier board as well that Ericsson's used from time to time, and it's got dial 12 on it, which is, I think, the best dial. I think that's the best sort, that one. And it's got a little arrow inside the handset to show you which way to twist it to get the cord out of the handset. I like that. Unusual to find one in topaz yellow. Very unusual that. Oh, that's the same again. It's come through twice in the email now. Right. The Gambo says he sent some as well. Let's see if I can find them. On the 8th. Oh yes, I did see this Gambo on the 8th. What's better than getting one phone for a £5? He says, and basically, this is what he got for his £5. He says, what's better than getting one phone for a £5? A telephone house number 503. And how to install it. How to use the internal telephone system. From Post Office Telecommunications. And you've got a sheet of paper as a directory. But what's interesting here about this, now the picture's too big to get it all on the screen at once, but this one, you see, is upside down. They look brand new, these. They don't look like they've ever been issued. And that, of course, has got the special adaptation thing, because we're looking at that actually the wrong way up, because it should be hung on the wall. That. And there is the bracket to hang it on the wall. And there are all the phones he's got. So he's got 2 upside down variants and 3 right way up variants. And am I right in thinking they were a £5? Or were they a £5 each? Yeah, perhaps perhaps they were a £5 each. I'm just reading the chat. Dominic says, I thought it was one of those very rare push button phones with a completely different button layout for a second. Yeah, I thought it was that as well, Dominic, for a minute. Oh, £5 each, Gambo says. So, not quite as much a bargain as I thought they were initially, but still a bargain. £5 each. That's quite good. All you've got to do now, then, Gambo, is figure out how to wire those together. I've got no idea. I always wonder with things like that if there's some kind of control box missing. You know, when you see a batch of phones like that, you know, I always wonder if there's some big control box with some fancy electronics and relays and things in it that you need to make them all work. I have been given 2 phones very similar, but just 2, but Bakelite variants. So I'm hoping to get those going at some point, but they do need a lot of restoration work on them. But yeah, interesting, very interesting. They don't look like they've ever been used. They look like unissued stock to me, because they're like perfect. They've not got a suntan or anything. They're really good, those. Really good. That might be buy of the week. That might be buy of the week. Oh, Spig is with us. He says, I'm late to the party evening all. Hi, Spig. Gamo said they've never been used, those phones. No, I didn't think they had. Krishna says, I've got 3 Ericsson N1970Bs, 1 green, 1 black and 1 ivory that you got in Australia. Cool. Really good. So that's what everybody else has been up to this week. I've been doing a little bit of tidying up around here, and I found a few things out that I've had ages but not really done anything with. Oh, I have got one thing that's arrived this week actually. Yes, one thing I've got that arrived this week is this. Does anybody know what this is? If I hold it like that, you've seen the back of it there, which you never normally see. But has anybody got any idea what this is? I'll give you a clue. It's heavy. But isn't everything that I buy heavy? Everything that I get is heavy. So yeah, what do you reckon it is, this? Oh, I'm going to put it down. Place your bets now. Oh, hang on. Wesley says, a pencil sharpener. Nope. Gambo says, it's a dynamo. But we get wins with time switch, because it is actually a switch out of an old fashioned type street light. If I can do that a minute, and I open this door and I go in there, and I'll get it a bit nearer the camera so you can see it. There you go. It's a time switch, and it is actually going. That should say the correct time in there at the minute. It is actually working, although it might not be working now because I've moved it about. And what you do to get them out is really simple to get them out. You get hold of that sort of big screwy thing there, the little nut at the top here, and you just lift, and the whole clock bit comes out, and then you're just left with the case. And what happens is, in the bottom here there's 2 holes. This is what you get when they're when it's a clockwork time switch. Now this is a time switch for switching things like street lights and stuff like that. So you've got your so it switches an electric street light, but it does it with a wind up analog clock. Yeah, you tell me why. So what you do, you put 2 wires in here, your live wires to your street lamp go in here. Your live coming in from your mains, and your live going out to the street lamp go in there, and go through those rubber grommets in the bottom of there, and then connect into those terminals. Then here and here. So they come through the little rubber grommet down there, straight into that terminal where that screw is there. Then you'll see there's a hole here, yeah, and a hole in the other one as well. And those holes are there because the holes are what these brass pins go into. And these brass pins are what actually connect to the live of the lamp. And then if we get it all a bit closer then so you can kind of see it, and then all that gubbins down there is what it switches, and your contacts are in there. So, is it still going? No, it's stopped. Because I've moved it. It's been going all week, and because I've moved it, it's stopped. Huh. It's stopped, you know, it's been running all week and it's stopped now. Oh, it's off again. It's off again. Can you hear it ticking? I don't know if you can hear that or not. I can hear it ticking. So the clock mechanism is in this bit here, and they later went to electrically powered ones, and the electrically powered ones just basically had an electric motor put in here, a bit like the Smiths electric clocks you get in your house, and that's how they did it when they went electric. But this is not electric, this is genuinely analog, which is quite amazing really. I will put it back in its case. Can I plug it in? Yes, that's it, it's plugged in. And it's stopped again. Now I've plugged it in. It seems to stop and then you have to tip it forward and back again. And that usually starts it. No, it's not starting now. Oh, I knew it was a bad idea taking it out. Bear with me a minute. We'll It's not always easy to hear, just bear with me a sec. I'll just take those off for a minute and try putting it back in the case now. It's been sat here running all week as well. Power of live strikes again. Oh, it's off. It's off, it's ticking away again. So I'll put that back over there. Yeah, it's going again. I mean, I'm sure it wants cleaning. I'm sure that clock actually wants cleaning and stuff to get it going properly. It stopped again. No, it's going. It's going. Yeah. So it wants taking apart and cleaning. It wants dunking in some clock cleaning fluid. But yeah, I found another one as well. There's another one on the way. So yeah, old street light timers. That's what we've been doing. And Miguel says it's a clockwork Venner. That's a very good find, he says. Perhaps it needs winding. Key fits in the centre. Well, I wound it up. I think it came on either Monday or Tuesday, and I wound it up then. And apparently they're supposed to last for 2 weeks when you've wound them up. So it shouldn't need winding again. Can't hear it with this headset on. That's the thing. Can't hear it with my headset on. But yeah. Yeah. It's a clockwork Venner timer. Yeah. I just thought it was quite nice. I have got a couple of old lampposts that one day I'm going to put up in the garden, so it may find a use one day. Wesley says, I'll look for one of those. The amount of crap time switches I've had to replace for the central heating is unreal. Yeah, I suppose you could use one for your central heating. You can get different ones. You can also get electrically powered ones, and you can get electric ones that have a backup mechanical winder on them as well. All sorts of different ones. If you just search for Venner time switch, or you'll find loads of different varieties of them. But if you want a clockwork one, look for one with the square clockwork winder thing in the middle of it, not just a nut. If it's just got a little nut or like a screw head in the middle, then it's an electric one. If it's got a square, like the end of a square shaft, then it's a wind up one. Dominic says that shop in Lincoln is called J Birkett, BIRKETT. J Birkett. Christopher says the ivory phone that he got there, the N1970B, he says it was supplied to telephone rentals in the UK. If you look at the dial label on the ivory phone in the email, yes, it did say our telephone rentals dial label in it, didn't it? Thing is though, you're never quite sure with dial labels because people change them. Antique dealers and that will take a dial label out and put it in somewhere else and that, just to make it look a bit older or something. They do all kinds of dodgy stuff, antiques dealers. So yeah, is that a genuine dial label? Well, it's probably a genuine dial label, but is it genuine to that phone? We'll never know. I mean, the dial might not be genuine to that phone. But yeah, the dials look a bit like the Pi type dials actually. I mean, they'll not be because it's an Ericsson phone, but they look a bit like those strange Pi dials. Biget says, back to the Venner timers, he says some go with the daylight changes. but must be on the right degrees for part of the country. Yeah, there's all kinds of weird ones, isn't there, that automatically change for daylight saving time and stuff like that. Yeah, there's all kinds of different variations on them. That is just a bog standard once on, once off in 24 hours one. And if you want to change when it comes on and goes off, you have to go and reset it. But yeah, I have seen some pictures, some very complicated ones. Yeah. So yeah, Vena timer. Just more junk to add to the collection, basically. Gambo says the dial label in Christopher's phone, it might be like all those so-called Knightsbridge and Mayfair labels that dealers put on phones, trying to push the price up. Yes, and Westminster and that, don't they? They put Westminster on and things like that. Yeah. Stain them with tea to make them look old and stuff like that. That's something that they do. So, yeah. Anyway, the other Vena time should be here this coming week, so there'll be another one here next week, so we'll have two. Meanwhile, I ought to put that to work, turning something on and off, didn't I? What I don't know is how they fit it to the street lamp. That's the bit I don't know. I'm not entirely sure that one was actually fitted to a street lamp, because they can time anything. I mean, they could time your central heating and that. Or they could turn your fairy lights on and off at Christmas, or anything like that, really. Could pretty much do anything. These Vena timers. What else have we uncovered? Oh yes, there's something else here. I don't know if I've shown you this or not. I've had this a few weeks, I can't remember if I've shown you it or not. It's an amplifier. An audio amplifier, as used by the GPO. Not quite sure what they used it for, but it is. As used by the GPO. There you go. And you see all the buttons and things on it. Oh, hello. What's happened there? Oh, that's it. Right, get it in focus, Andy. Come on. So yeah, you've got inputs. Loudspeaker, amplifier. Then you've got a gain thing here. Minimum, maximum. So that one must rotate. It does. Then you've got another one that doesn't seem to move, but I think it should click round. Do gain, normal and high. And then you got this, which is just a little lamp, I think. On and off. But as you can see, I have two switches, two knobs missing off these switches here. So the question is, have any of you got those knobs. Any of you got a couple of knobs that fit on there? I know it's a long shot, but I just thought somebody might have some. Then we should be able to get this thing going, hopefully. I mean, it's a loudspeaker amplifier number 11A. And it's got input H, L and E. Not entirely sure what goes where. Runs on 250 volts. Round the back it's got a tiny little 3-pin plug for 250 volts AC and what looks like a couple of fuses around the back there. That little plug thing for the 250 volts, it almost looks like some sort of audio connector, but it's not. It's 250 volt in. So I could do with the plug to plug into that socket. That's something else I could do with finding. But yeah, I don't like the case it's in though. It's one of the built things, isn't it? That, you know, when they put them in wooden cases like that. I mean, look at the dovetails on that case. It's amazing. When they built stuff properly, you know. You know, that wasn't a fancy show thing. That was only going to be used by an engineer, but they still took the trouble to put it in a varnished case and do dovetail joints on it and stuff like that. And they just wouldn't do that now, would they? It'd be in some flimsy plastic box now, wouldn't it? Christopher says, I've got some old street lights. I've got an old 1990s Sylvania B2224 light. It's mercury vapor, 80 watts. He says, and I only got that N1970B phone for $10 in Australia. Bargain, Christopher, bargain. Everybody's getting bargains this week. Everybody's doing really well. Where he says, I would have thought any old knob would fit okay, as long as the shaft diameter is compatible. I think it will, Wesley, but I just wonder if anybody might have the right ones out there. Yeah, so it's a bulging plug. Yep. Right, I've caught up. I think I've caught up with the chat. So yeah, that's about all I've got recently. That's all I've picked up recently, other than buying a boat, of course. Yes, the boat. If you looked at the thumbnail for last week's stream, the boat was on the thumbnail for last week's stream. If you, yes, the boat has. Well, I'd say it's arrived, but it's not. It's stayed where it was, but it's paid for and everything now, basically. So it will be coming. I'm just wondering if we've got any photos of it I can show you. I'm feeling I possibly haven't. Let me have a little look. I don't think I've downloaded the photos onto my computer yet. don't think I've downloaded the boat ones yet. By the way, while I'm looking for the photos, I'll tell you a little bit more about the radio station. It's almost ready to go, almost ready to rock and roll, as they say. Yeah, it is very much getting there. There'll be a new episode of How to Start a Radio Station very soon, where you will see where we've got to. We have had a bit of a problem with the internet service provider though, whereby it was changing over contracts, so the internet's going to be down at the radio station for about a month, which is not ideal. But once we get the internet up and running again, we will be seriously looking at getting going. I don't think I've downloaded these photos. I'm just going through lots of pictures. And trying to find them. More recent pictures now. Talk amongst yourselves a minute. I should be more prepared really, shouldn't I? But I'm not. Yeah, we have a few photos of it showing kind of what it was like when I first found it. So here it is, poking out of the trees in this boatyard. It's a Dawnecraft 25 if you know anything about boats, but it has had some modifications done to it. So that is what I found poking out of the trees in the boatyard. And there you can see down the side of it how close it is to all the brambles and stuff. It is a fiberglass hull. There's a bit of crazing in the fiberglass, but nothing serious. It's just a bit of crazing in the gel coat. And it's got lots of wooden rubbing strips around it as well. There's a bit higher up, and you can see it's at the side of a very rusty sort of truck, that close to it. And that rubbing strip there, that sort of, well, it looks like mahogany, but I think actually it was probably ash. That strip there is actually broken. And the reason I think it's ash is because it's bent round the gunnels of the boat, and ash is easy wood to bend. Now this is inside. This is actually the open back deck, although it had got stuff piled up on there, so I was actually looking under something when I took these, which is why they're a bit dark. But as you can see, there's no floor in it, just big balks of timber where the floor should be. Oh, and that's inside looking towards the front, and looking from the door at the back right down the length of the boat towards the front, you can see the brambles have grown in through an open window there. And this is the bulkhead that somebody's built, because they've moved this bulkhead about 3 or 4 foot further back than it would normally be. It would normally have a bigger open back deck than this boat's got, but to maximise the cabin space they've kind of added a bit on the back of the cabin and made the open deck less. So, and it's quite a neat conversion actually. We will be keeping it like that. That's a rubbish photo in the bottom there again, and more of the rubbish in the bottom, and there it is from the back. And you can see it's actually had a thing called an outdrive, which is kind of half an outboard and half an inboard, fitted to it. Now we're not going to be putting the outdrive back. What I think I am going to do will probably be to fit something else, probably an outboard, but not entirely sure yet. Well, I'm probably going to fit an outboard motor to that. We're going to do something with that transom because obviously it's got a big hole in it there, and then probably fit an outboard motor to it. So that transom does need rebuilding. So that is what it currently is looking like. And there's another slightly different picture of it where you can see how close it is to all the trees and stuff, because it was put there apparently in about 2008 and hasn't moved since. So yeah, but it is on a kind of little bogie trailer thing, and it stood on this this kind of bogie trailer, and it stood on it quite well. So this is the view looking from the back under the hull. And the two inner bits of wood that kind of stood on their end, they are actually laughingly keels on the bottom of the boat. They are attached to the boat. Those two, not the one on the far left, that's part of the trailer, but the two sort of in the middle are actually attached to the boat, bolted through the hull to the boat, and they help keep it in a straight line, basically, a bit like the runners on a sledge. And they also mean that if you run aground or anything, it just sits on those. So should be a fairly stable boat in the water, I'm told. So that's pretty good, really. That's it. So that is the Dawnecraft boat. You'll be seeing more of that fairly soon. Right, I think that is probably about a wrap for today. We will be back doing stuff with telephones and things next week, by the way. So we'll be, normal service will be kind of resuming next week. Now the Odyssey stuff is settling down, and that we'll be back to our normal kind of routine, if you like, next week, restoring phones and stuff like that. Right, I'm just looking at what people have been saying in the chat. Christopher says, I see you have a grey phone in the background, Andy. Do I? Oh, yes. Up there somewhere. Well spotted, Christopher. Yeah, there's actually two up there. There's the copper phone is up there as well, the kettle phone. But yeah, that's a grey That's actually the oddball phone. You've seen it before, but hang on, let me get it. Because I've been clearing stuff out today, moving things around, I've found things that I've kind of not exactly forgotten about, but not touched for a while. What you've spotted, Christopher, is this, which is a very odd thing indeed. It's been on the stream before a few months back, and we've still not got any further with it, really. We don't quite know what it is. It's two-tone grey. It says made in Austria rather, on the bottom of it. It's fitted with one of these early sort of plugs that the GPO used. And it's in kind of GPO standard colours. So is it a GPO phone? Is it one that was on a private system? Was it telephone rentals or somebody doing something? But it is an oddball thing. You see, it's a really strange phone. If anybody knows anything about this, if anybody recognises this, I say it's made in Austria, then let us know, because I put an appeal out ages ago for information about it and not a lot has come in. It's one of those things where you ask for information about it, but unfortunately it just seems that most people haven't got any. Gambo says, I'll see you all next week, but I'll be hungover as it's our annual area conference on Saturday, so it might get messy. Right. Forewarned is forearmed, Gambo. Again, says about the boat, he says, looks like that is quite a project, don't know where I would start. It should go well. Yeah, it's not actually too bad. It's not actually too bad. Most of the structure of the thing is okay. And that, so yeah. There'll probably be some videos about it when we get going, when we get doing stuff. Christopher says, I also see one behind you on the bench. Where? Yeah, it says, nice phone, what is the dial like? Is it by AS who made phones in Austria? It's certainly very similar to one of those, Miguel, if not the same. It's not a British dial, let's put it that way. This is one on the bench. Oh, here, this. Crikey, you've got eyes like a hawk, Christopher. Yeah, that's just that is just a 746. I forgot I put that there. Yeah, it's just 746. It's quite a nice one, because if I do that, you see it's an early 746 case with the sort of ski slope thing there, not the strange hump bit with the cutout. So So it's an early case 746. What's the date on the bottom of it? Oh, 1968. There you go, 1968. Well spotted, Christopher. Right. That is about as far as we go for this week, folks. Yeah, it's going to be quite a busy week again this week. So yeah, and remember, I've took on an allotment as well in the middle of all this. So come next summer, there's going to be quite a few videos, I think, next summer. Yeah. Hopefully we'll still have a platform to put the videos on. Hopefully Google will not buy Odyssey. If Google buys Odyssey, I will cry, because that would be like the worst thing that's ever happened on the internet. If Google bought Odyssey, that would be the worst thing ever if that happened. Somebody needs to start another library client like Odyssey that's not Odyssey. That's what somebody needs to do. Christopher says, I've got a 746 from 1968. It's a 746L. Is that an L? Oh, it just says 746. It's one of those where it just says 746. But yeah. Right. Wesley says, nice to hear of a fellow allotment holder. Yes, Wesley, there'll be potatoes next year, probably. Yeah, back to the potatoes. But yeah, it's a bit of a mess at the moment. But we're trying to resurrect some allotments that were in danger of being closed because people were not taking them on. And I had got visions of the council building a housing estate on them, or somebody building a housing estate on them. So I thought, time to take on some allotments, so that so they're all let, sort of thing. So yeah, that's basically the size of it. I'll tell you more about that. We'll have some videos about the allotments when we get going. Right, but as I say, that is about it for now. Thanks to everybody for joining us on our Odyssey into Odyssey once again. I'm now going to go and read all this news about it being for sale. Oh God, I hope Google don't buy it. But remember, you can also watch us on Library. If you're feeling a bit techie, go and download the Library client onto your computer and find out about Library and how it works and that. And go back and watch my video on how to use Library that I made, I think it was back in about 2019 I made it. But you'll find it both on Library and on YouTube, that video, how to use Library, on this channel. But from me, for now, that is about it. Dominic says, hope you get a successful potato crop. Yeah, me too, Dominic. And Christopher says, bye for now. Yeah, and so that does indeed wrap it up as the clock dings. I think that clock's a bit fast, so don't panic. But from me, for now, have a fantastic week ahead, everyone. And we will see you next time here. Mad, Bad and Dangerous to Know, around about 6:30 PM again, next Sunday evening for another Andy Shed Live. Bye for now.